What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about something really important, which is the brakes on this car, which is the most important thing probably is stopping the vehicle. So I recently had to change my brakes, and as you guys know, I used to have the R1 Concepts brake rotors on here paired with Porterfield R4S pads on my Giulia. I had that set up for about 2 years, maybe just under 2 years, not sure, 1.5 to 2 years, I guess. And I really wasn't satisfied with how that setup aged. You know, to be frank, the R1 Concepts rotors, they rusted after a couple thousand miles. They started showing rust after, you know, maybe 6 months or so, and they just didn't look good at all. And they're supposed to be coated with stuff from their factory that's supposed to prevent that rust and corrosion. But from what I could tell, either my rotors didn't have that, or, you know, I don't know. In defense of R1 Concepts, I did put my car through a lot, okay? Those rotors were not track rotors, and I did a track day, and I did several autocrosses. And not only that, but the brake pads I had with those rotors were the Porterfield R4S, which are a semi-aggressive, trackable street pad. However, that doesn't really explain the rusting that happened on the edges of the brake rotor as well as on the hub that made it just look like crap. And then also on the actual face of the brake rotor, the braking surface, it quickly developed heat spots and hot spots, which used to cause judder when stopping from pretty much 80 miles and above. You know, when slowing down, I'd get some really aggressive and unsettling brake judder, which I hated. I really hated that, because you want to be able to drive a car like this, a sports car, with confidence. You want to be able to go fast, knowing that you'll be able to slow down well. If you guys have R1 Concepts brake rotors, I'm not saying that you're going to experience the same thing I did. Once again, I put them through hell and back, but, you know, just be aware that they're not a rotor to really drive super hard on all the time. So anyway, let's get back to the main story, which is the new brake setup I have on the car, which are the BRAKENETIC brake rotor kit. So I did some research when it came time to replace my brakes. A little brake service light was going on, and I was like, okay, well, when I get back, by the way, I've been gone about a month. That's why I haven't thrown up a video in a while. I was like, okay, when I get back, I'll do my brakes. So I did a bunch of research. I went with BRAKENETIC. I really like their online storefront. I also looked up some online reviews. There's not too many online reviews about BRAKENETIC. They're not as well known as R1. I'd say that they're getting there, but they have a really nice storefront. All of the kind of later reviews, more modern day reviews, say great things about them. And so I figured I'd give it a shot. Came with all 4 rotors, front and rear, hardware to replace, as well as the brake pads. I was actually pretty surprised because they sent me upgraded brake pads. I was supposed to get Centric Posi-Quiet pads, which are a regular just street pad, nothing spectacular, but they sent me PowerStop Z17 OEM Plus pads, which was a pleasant surprise. I guess maybe they ran out of Centric, or the supplier ran out, so they just threw those in there. So thumbs up to BrakeCentric for that, for real, because those pads are awesome. So anyway, I swapped the brakes myself. I'm not going to go through that process. Obviously, there's a million videos out there. I made a video about how to swap the brakes on this car. It's a really easy process. And it's been about 3 or 4 days. This is day number 4, I think, of having these brakes. They've been thoroughly bedded in. I didn't really follow the bedding in procedure. I just drove it normally, which is what most people do. I just don't have the ability really to bed them in where I live. Here in Germany, there's not really a place where I can do multiple stops without damn near causing an accident. So anyway, I've just driven it really gingerly for the past couple of days, and they're fully bedded in for the most part, and they look and feel absolutely amazing. So I went with the cross-drilled once again. I just like that look. I think it's a premium, you know, sporty luxury look. You know, that's what I had with the R1 Concepts. However, the biggest difference, or one of the biggest differences for me, was that unlike the R1 Concepts, and I know it's pretty dark here, but these are coated with this high heat temperature black spray coating to prevent rust. And that's what I really like. So that means that in a year or two, or whatever, these rotors aren't going to just start looking like crap like the R1s did that didn't have that coating. Even though the R1 claims that they have some sort of zinc coating that prevents that, it didn't work. Or maybe it worked for a couple months and then I started to have rust. So I'm really hoping that the coating that comes on these brakes holds up, because it looks really durable and really nice. I'll also say that for me, the most important difference with the BRAKENETIC rotors, or the kit versus the R1s, is the stopping power. I have so much more confidence when stopping this car now. Probably the most confidence I've ever had with this car. Even when I had the R1s brand new with the Porterfield R4S pads, which are a much more aggressive pad than what I have on here, the confidence is just so much better when stopping the car. I really feel like I have full control of the car at speed. I can slow down, whether it just be me in the car or the whole family or passengers. I can really slow down and not have any issues. That's the biggest thing for me. Honestly, it feels like more than just an OEM Plus pad, but you know, hey, whatever. And there's really low dust. I like that a lot. Keeps the wheels clean. The other pads, you know, they were a semi-track pad, so they're gonna have a lot of dust. I wasn't really complaining about that. I knew what I was getting into. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys the background on why I changed my brakes, what I changed to. So if you are in the market looking for a brake kit, by all means go with the R1. They're not a bad kit. However, I won't be going back. Just based on my experience so far, I'll be staying a BRAKENETIC customer as long as I want a street setup, to be honest. So anyway, let's go ahead, hop in the car, and talk more while we're on the road. It's a beautiful day, and we're parked right next to a really nice scenic road over here. Yeah, let's get in. Let's go for a ride. I think it's mandatory when you drive a Giulia, you have to pull out like that. But anyway, so as I was saying, you know, about the rotors, I wanted to go on a drive for two reasons. Because it's a beautiful day in the outskirts of Stuttgart, the German countryside, and then to also, you know, just talk about the brake performance in these BRAKENETIC, this BRAKENETIC brake kit. I really like it. Like, I don't think I've been. Oh, geez, there's a cop getting people for speeding. Let me slow down. I don't think I've ever been this excited about a brake kit, putting brakes on my car. I really like it because, like I said, it gives me the confidence to drive spiritedly and quickly, but also safely. You know, that's the biggest thing at the end of the day, or should be the biggest thing for all of us, is safety. Getting back home in one piece. And I'll be honest with you, when I had those R1 Concepts on the car, just being completely honest, those rotors, I did not feel safe braking with those rotors. I mean, at, you know, city speeds and just, you know, point A to point B, you know, literally doing like 5 miles or kilometers under the speed limit, fine, whatever. You know, that's fine. But anything else, even going, you know, on the Autobahn at Autobahn speeds, which are, you know, you know, in excess of 80 and sometimes 100 miles an hour, I did not feel comfortable. I did not feel comfortable with those R1 concept rotors, because those heat spots that were on it, those hot spots, which, if you don't know what a hot spot is, it's essentially a built-up, it's uneven brake pad material that has melted onto the surface of the rotor and created basically little bumps on the face of the rotor. So when you go to press the brake, you know, and the brake caliper is pressing the brake pads into the rotor, the brake pads are like skipping over all of this, you know, baked on uneven material. And, you know, hot spots, oh, you got a speed camera coming up. Hot spots are, you know, kind of a normal thing with like high performance track day car, like people who know what they're doing as far as, you know what they're getting into. If you got steel rotors and, you know, non-race pads and you're doing track days and stuff, you're going to get some heat spots. And what you do normally is, when it's time to change the brakes, you take the rotor off and you'd resurface it and pretty much just kind of buff those heat spots down and make the rotor one, you know, homologous flat surface again. But you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go out here and resurface these rotors. There's very few places that will even resurface rotors nowadays, especially cross-drilled rotors. Once again, this is a street setup, right? How I'm driving right now is probably the most aggressive that you would want to drive. You know, it's probably the most aggressive that you would want to drive on a setup like this. You know, quick, short bursts of speed, have a little fun when it's safe, and then, you know, bring it back down. But this setup is really for the 99.999% of us, the rest of us out here, who want a daily driver, streetable setup without breaking the bank, that we can still have a quick blast with and have fun on a twisty country road, you know, without worrying about absolutely obliterating our brakes. Let me hurry up. Without absolutely obliterating our brake pads and our rotors, because we have to go to work the next day. You know, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed by BRAKENETIC and what they have to offer. The quality was awesome. I forgot to talk about the shipping. They came wrapped up really well. You can tell the company is invested in making sure that their product reaches the customer safely and undamaged. Like I said, the surface of the rotors, you could really tell that they had machined them in order to be bedded in properly. They had a really nice cross hatching there. And then the fit and finish and everything else was absolutely perfect. And I'm really, really excited about the fact that these rotors have the high heat paint on the hub and the exterior of the rotor, because I don't want to get any rust. I don't want to get any rust on these rotors. I live in Germany. There's a lot of rain. I wash my car frequently, and you know, I want a product. I want brakes that are going to perform, that are going to look good and not look like crap a couple months later. So yeah, this whole time that I've been driving, I've been on and off the brake pedal, and I just love the confidence. I really can drive any way I want to, essentially, with confidence, and feel as though I'm going to be able to stop and I'm going to be safe. You know, your braking performance in your car is only as good as your tires. So if your tires are crap, people, change your tires, please, when you also change your brakes. Doesn't matter if you have, you know, the best Brembo brakes on your car. if your tires are worn and bald, you're not going to get good braking performance. And the whole point of changing your brakes is to make sure that you're safe and you can stop safely. So just want to throw that out there. Should be common sense, but it's not always, and that's okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the BRAKENETIC brake kit. I'm going to do my best to remember to put the link in the description below. And if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. And like I said, there's plenty of brake installation videos for this car specifically out on the internet. Once again, I made one. You can go back in my videos and you can look at the one that I did. This time I was able to put the car up on a lift and do all four corners at once, which was nice. All right, folks, thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to do my best to keep the videos rolling, and I don't have any hiatuses to go on anytime soon, so I'm going to try and crank out a video a week and just talk about the awesome experiences I'm having owning this car in the most awesome part of the world, in my opinion, which is Central Europe. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks always. Stay safe.